Hello everyone, Nev here, and I'm going to show off a few of my latest bags. I only have four this time, and I would have liked to have completed a few more before I did a video showcasing some of the new bags, but well, I only made four, so yeah, so I'm going to show the bags and show the decks that they go with, and then I'm going to discuss some of my future plans for other decks that I don't have bags for. All right, so let's see, which one do I want to share first? I think I want to share this one. All right, here it is. And this, if I untie it here and we can take a look at it, this is for the Blood Moon Tarot. So here we go. Let me actually close the curtains so that we can see this a little better. There we go. I don't know if that the light was just a little bit too much, so I slightly closed the curtains. There's a little bit of light coming through, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to, I'm trying to show this off where the light is not like right on it. Let me close it a little bit more here. Let's see. There we go. Is that better? I don't know. I don't know if that's better or not. But yeah, so really nice how this turned out. I went with I went with a honey themed, as you can tell, because there's a whole suit of honey, and in fact the top card here is the 7 of honey. So there's a whole suit of honey, and I kind of wanted to tap into that. And then I wanted to have a moon, of course, because it's the Blood Moon Tarot. So I wanted a moon, I wanted honey, and the ribbon here, trim here is a like green or teal and turquoise skulls, which I really like. I actually have lots of this type of trim here. It's just in different colors, and one of the other colors we're seeing on another bag. But yeah, so that is the bag, and I'm going to open the curtains a little bit more now so that we can see a little bit more. All right, so sorry about the lighting. Hopefully that's still okay. I really like the way this turned out. And when I showed my husband, he was like, a honeymoon? And I didn't even think of that when I picked this design. And I was like, oh, yeah, technically it's a honeymoon. Yeah. So cool. And this is back. So I used like this like brown velour. I don't know if it's showing up as brown on the camera. In person, it's a bit more of a like a warmer brown, but I think on camera it's kind of coming off a bit cooler brown, but it's a nice warm brown, and it's yeah, velour. So the inside is kind of this mauve-y, almost salmon, maybe mauve salmon sort of color, and it's just velour. Yeah, I like how that turned out. Or is it suede cloth? No, it's velour. Okay. And I just wanted to show the bag with the deck here, and kind of treating the bag like it's an oracle deck. I've done that before in my bag sharing videos, where I put the bag in the middle and we're just looking at the deck with it. So what do you think? I mean, not all the cards have that honey look to it. Some of them are like this one was very different, and I was really considering this sort of image, trying to find kind of a Pan's Labyrinth design, and because this deck has that sort of vibe to it as well, but I decided to go into the honey aspect of this deck and just embrace that. So, and I think that was a good decision, because I really like the way this turned out. Even the cards that are not quite the honey color, I still think it has the spirit of the deck. So what do you think? Do you like the way this turned out? I like the way this turned out. I guess that's all that matters, but I'm just sharing, I'm just sharing latest creations. All right, so that is this deck. Now, the next deck I'm going to show is actually the main deck that I have been pairing with this one. And this does fit nicely in there. A little bit of room here at the top so that I can close it off. Very nice, and then tie it. So, and I went with brown for the ribbon. So yeah. So the next one is going to look very similar, because I actually kind of made them to match. And here it is. So obviously I went a little bit different, but I used a lot of the same colors. And here we go. And we went with a different design, but it's the same outside fabric here. And I went with this Elven Moon design here. And if you see here, this is the pink skulls. And a difference here with the other one. Let me untie this. There we go. So here we go. See the difference here and the similarities. So I kind of went with opposites here. So, you know, it's got the green border with the pink on the inside, and this has the pink border with the green on the inside. And I just like the way this one turned out as well. So this one, oh, and you can see a little bit of the leaves going off to the other side here. This one is the Fairies Oracle. And I used, this is actually suede cloth for sure. It's green. I'm not sure if it's coming up green on camera. Let me see if I close the curtains again and we can see. I just grabbed a little light off to the side, hoping that it will put some light on the bags here. So yeah, this is it's like a dark, like a hunter green. And it's hard to see because it does look on camera, it does look a bit more teal, but it's actually more of it's very similar to the green that's in the leaves here. But yeah, and since this light's here, maybe we can see this one a little bit better now. So I think that turned out really cool, and they obviously go together in my collection, and because I have decided that these two decks go together really, really well, and especially my intended purpose for the Blood Moon Tarot is that it's going to be a bit of a Fae deck, I think, in my collection. You know, I'll experiment here and there, but you know, and because of that, I think it pairs very, very well with this Fairies Oracle. Yeah. And I guess I could show the two decks together, but all right, there we go. This is kind of cool. We'll do it like this. So I made them so that they do go together. The two bags go together, but they're different enough that they're not, you know, necessarily together. They're just very similar. They're very similar decks. They kind of match, but they also kind of don't. You know, they also have their own thing going on. Yeah, so I like the way this turned out, and I think this is a great pairing. These two decks. Sorry for all the lighting changes. It's that time of the day where the sun is just like trying to decide what it wants to do. You know. Oh, this one's a good one. I like that one. But yeah, so I think these two decks are they go together really, really well. Check that out. I think it's really cool. Yeah, big fan of this. And I can hear so many people in my house coming home. It's right at the end of the school year. And my daughter just went to the theme park that's near our house for one of the last days of school. All right. Okay, so that was these two decks. Okay, so the next one is this one. I think it really helps having that light here to the side. You can see the decks much better. So this is, let me pull it out. We've got a sword right here in the middle. Oh, sorry about the dog. Okay, so it is the cracked amethyst. Cool. Yeah, so let me place this out. Okay, so with this deck, I went with, what is this called? Like a sateen on the outside. And on the inside is like a turquoise or teal velour. And I just did a simple, like really sparkly silver trim here. And I went with a sword here. Oh, and also like bright pink, it's hard to see in here, but they're kind of hot pink ribbons here. And that actually is the same pink that's in the flowers of the sword. So I went with the sword design because this deck has several swords, lots of swords in it. And of course, I'm not going to come across them as I flip through. And a lot of them are just single swords. And so and there was a pack of single sword designs on Urban Threads, which is the main place I go for embroidery designs. There's other places I get designs as well, and sometimes I get them on Etsy. And then my machine stitches them out, and I switch out the colors and things like that. But so here's a sword. But yeah, so there was a design pack on Urban Threads that had a bunch of swords, and they were very similar to this, very fantasy looking, single sword just in a spot. Yeah. And I like this one the best. It kind of had an Excalibur look to it, and this deck, while it's not really set in one time period or another. Because we can see here, I mean, there's a box of mugs here, and then there's other cards that are very fantastical and very like fantasy inspired. Like this is very fantasy looking, you know. This is a bit of a dagger instead of a sword, but yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of this imagery in this deck where it's just a single thing that your eye is drawn to. Like a single focal point, and then there's some that are, you know, a bit more spread out, but yeah. So here's another example. Here is a sword that is in a swamp, you know. So yeah, there was a lot of cards like this. Oh, here's a good one like that. And I kind of, this is more the colors that I was kind of going for. So you know, I wanted to try to stick with something that blended well with this deck, and because we have a bunch of modern stuff, but we also have more fantasy inspired things, and I definitely didn't want any people or creatures on anywhere in the bag, because there's no living, well, I mean, technically there's birds off in the distance on this card, but you know, there's no real living creatures in this deck. It's mostly objects. Yes, we saw some birds flying off in the distance. I think that's a little bit different, but yeah, so I kind of wanted to stick with something that was just an object. Here's a good example of that single object in this deck. So I think I made the right choice here. There were several others that I not just swords, but there were other designs I had in mind. Here's another sword that's and I think there was a similar sword to this in that design pack. I liked this one because it wasn't as long, and it was cut off by the water, you know, and that seemed like it was more conducive to the bag instead of a single sword. This was spread out a bit more, and you know, I felt like if it was a single sword, I would have like made it slanted. I don't know, it felt like I would have to adjust it too much to fit, so I wanted to, I liked the one with it in water because it shortened. One, it kind of has an Excalibur sort of vibe to it, the Lady of the Lake sort of vibe, and two, it shortened the design. So yeah, so there we go. All right, so that is the cracked amethyst bag. And just to show the other Jessica Bot decks that I have, I don't have special bags for. This is the Phenomena Oracle, and I just keep it in this little mesh bag that has silver stars all over it. I could make a bag for this, but I don't think I will. I think it's actually fine in this. And that's the same for these mini decks here, the Idiosynchro deck and the Amethyst Oracle. They just kind of fit fine in these small little mesh bags. So I think I'm fine with that for now, unless later on down the road I decide to switch it up. There are other decks that I would like to get from this creator, especially the Botanical Oracle / Tarot, yeah, and all of the expansions for that. So that deck I would probably make a bag for, but some of the smaller decks, like the mini size decks and the small amount decks, they're kind of fine in these mesh bags, I think. So yeah. Okay, so the last set bag that I have made recently, it might be my favorite one, but it's also the most simple. So it's the most simple bag that I've made of these four, but I think I like it the best. I think it turned out really nice. So that is this one here. These crystals turned out really cool. I almost used this design for the Cracked Amethyst because it's called the Cracked Amethyst, and there are like stones and crystals in that deck, but it's not really around that, you know. It's just it's called the Cracked Amethyst, and there are some stones and crystals in it, but it's mostly other things. Whereas this deck is very specifically all about stones and crystals, and that is, of course, the Crystal Keys Tarot. So really excited, really happy with how this bag turned out, and I really wanted to mimic the purple gilding, so that's why I went with the purple fabric here. When it's so pretty in this, like as the light hits it and you see the sheen. This is a it's not silk, obviously, but like it's like a satin, yeah, because this is more of a sateen, whereas this is a satin. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this one turned out, and I got to use my lighter purple ribbon, which is a ribbon that I don't often get to use with my decks. The light purple, for some reason, does not match a lot of my decks, but it did match this bag. So I went with like a nice dark bright purple for the inside with the satin here. This is a very, very light, it's almost white velvet, not velvet, but like velveteen or crushed velvet, thank you, crushed velvet material here, and it's kind of got a silvery sheen to it. It's almost white because I have other silver silver crushed velvet that is a little bit darker than this. I've only used this fabric a few times because it is so light. It's a very light fabric. Yeah, and then the nice big crystal right here in the middle. Oh, and I also used the really sparkly pentacle trim here with the black background. And I went with that because the backs of these are kind of black, or really dark, so I kind of wanted to have that element there as well. All right, we can take a look at how it looks with the cards, and I think this is super cool. I just like the simplicity of how this bag turned out. I think it turned out pretty nice. I'm happy with this one. Oops, cards stuck together. Here we go. Yeah, and see, this is a good one to pair with it because it's got that purple coloring to it. Really nice. I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think we got a bit of the lighter colors that is similar to the white borders. Obviously, it's a bit more silver than the white border. And then we have the black from that's in some of the cards here, and the nice bright purple that is on the edging and in the deck. I like this a lot. Yeah. Sometimes it's the simple ones that turn out that are just kind of just nice, you know. I think I like this one the best, but I do really like the matching that I did here with these ones, and of course the designs are super nice. the bees and stuff on it. I love how this turned out. And this is very pretty. I have not had, I've had the Fairies Oracle for an extremely long time, probably like more than a decade, much more than a decade. And I just never had a bag for it. I always kept it in like this wooden box, which was nice. It was a nice wooden box, but like it didn't have like it didn't have really have a clasp or anything. So it was really not secure in that box. And like all my other decks or most of my other decks are mainly in bags. And so it was kind of an outlier. And I just always wanted to make a bag for it. So I'm really glad the Blood Moon came into my collection because it really paired well with the Fairies Oracle. I just made them kiss. Look at that. It really paired well with the Fairies Oracle. So it just inspired me to finally get around to making a bag for it. And even if this was a standalone bag, not matching with this one, I think it's really nice. And so yeah, I really like that one. This one was fun, though it did take a while for me to figure out what I actually wanted to do with this one. Because I had fabric and stuff picked out for this one. I was just still trying to find an embroidery I liked. But I've had fabric picked out for this one for like 6 months. And I just have not done anything with it until now. And then this one just turned out so nice and simple, clean and pretty. And yeah. Big fan of this. I think it turned out great. So let me know down below which bag you like the best. Which one do you think fits the deck the best? Ugh. Man, these the Crystal Keys Tarot, the gilding is fine. It's a fine gilding, but it does kind of catch the cards a little bit, just a little bit. Not as bad as some other decks, but yeah. These are so pretty. This is just such a beautiful deck. Sorry, I've stopped talking about the bag now, and I was just looking at the deck. All right. So I want to finish this off by showing some of the decks that I have in the two make bags for category right now. And these aren't the only ones, but they're the ones that I grabbed for this video. So I have a bunch that are in these mesh bags. Let me grab a bunch. Here they are. So I have a bunch of these that are just in mesh bags for the time being. This is the Zeke's Arcana. This is the Moonlit Tarot by Chanel Days. This is also by Chanel Days. This is the Velvet Heart Tarot, which I am going to do a walkthrough of this one very soon. It's going to be in my Make Playing Cards haul video that will come out this month. And this is the Astrology of Arcana. I think that's what it's called. Something like Arcana of Astrology, something like that. Yeah, so, and these are just, I have other decks that are just in mesh bags right now, and I absolutely plan to make bags for these. These ones are very, very new. This one I've had for about a year now, ish. Yeah, about a year. Yeah. And, I just haven't made a bag for yet. So, yeah. So these are on the list. And let's see. I have... Let's do these ones. So these ones I was actually going to make pretty soon, but and they're probably the next ones. They're probably the next ones on the not the chopping block, because that's a different thing, but on the menu, on the on the queue. There we go, on the queue. In the queue. Yeah, so the Somnia Tarot and Oracle, obviously I'm going to do a very similar thing, and in fact I'm going to be using the same ribbons, or not ribbons, but trim, but not these colors, obviously. These colors fit very well with these decks, but they're not going to fit well with these ones. But I have trim that's the same skull stuff, but one is mostly blue, like the royal blues, and one is kind of has a maroon and gold sort of coloring to it. So I thought those would be great for this, and I'm still trying to work out the fabric, though, and that's what's kept me from making bags for these two. I'll pick out fabric and then decide later that I don't know that quite works, or I don't quite like that. I might have to order some fabric, perhaps. I don't know. I try not to, because I do have a lot of fabric, and I try not to overload my my stash, you know. All right, so those are next up, probably, if I can decide on fabric and embroideries for these. All right, and then finally I have 3 here. These are all new decks. So I have the Glimmer Enlightenment, I have the Coastal Curiosities, I have the Oracle of Oddities. So yeah, I definitely want to make some bags for these ones. Of course, with the Oracle of Oddities, I'm probably going to make it to match the other Claire Goodchild decks that I have. And this is also a Claire Goodchild deck, but this one's going to be very different, obviously. But this is in the same vein as the Oddities type category here. So yeah, I will. This one was so fun. It was reversible. The lady ancestor and the male ancestor. I like that. And then this one's got the nice frog on it. Yeah. Anyway, so I will probably make this one to match that. And then the Coastal Curiosities. This is actually the only deck by Lennox Reese that I have. But I did back the Kickstarter for I think technically I backed it for the folkloric forest and then added on the folkloric water. It's called water, right? Folkloric waters. Oh, I don't remember the name, but the Kickstarter was for the water one, but I think the backing that I did was for the forest one, and then I added on the water one, and I also got the common oracle. I think that's what it's called, right? With the words, which are super cool. Anyway, so I've got 3 of the decks by Lennox Reese coming in, so I think I'm gonna hold off making a bag for this one until more of those decks come in, and I can kind of gauge what I want to do bag wise, if how much I want them to match or not match, etc. So there we go. And then I am really excited to make a nice little bag for this deck. I've really been using this deck with my Nana for some ancestor work, so yeah, I want to use a nice bag for this, and something very Chinese, you know, a nice Chinese motif. Okay, so these are the 4 decks that I've, 4 bags that I've made recently for my tarot decks. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!